Thanks for being with us today. I'm Jim Ewing with Provision Solutions. Vision is so important and at all stages of development. If you're in a business, a group, a ministry, or an organization, you've likely seen a vision statement. Perhaps you'll be developing one of these in the future. A vision statement describes the positive, preferred, or desired future that an individual, group, or organization wants to realize. It might help to think of a vision statement as being like a compass, something that provides clear direction for the journey ahead. But does the follower of Jesus Christ really need a vision statement? Or what about where we may have a leadership role within an organization? Is it needed? Proverbs 29:18 is a well-known verse that speaks of vision. I like how it reads in the Message translation. If people can't see what God is doing, they stumble all over themselves. But when they attend to what He reveals, they are most blessed. So here's an important question for each of us. Are we attending to what the Lord reveals, the vision that He provides? I've asked a friend, James Bruyn, to share something regarding the vision that he has for the Faith at Work Network. James is a bi-vocational, visionary leader, writer, and speaker. He enjoys helping others integrate their faith in God with their daily lives. James is a consultant for the rail industry with a joint honors degree in computer science and accounting. With over 30 years of experience, he delivers innovative technology solutions for complex business problems across multiple industries. James holds a Doctor of Ministry degree and is the director of the Faith at Work Network. I'd also recommend his excellent daily workplace devotional that I've personally enjoyed reading. James, over to you.
Thank you, Jim. A delight to be here. And thank you, Carrie Lynn, for what you shared about being courageous. There are many times in life when we have to be courageous, and it's not always easy to step out and be courageous. Jim asked me to share a little bit about the Vision of Faith at Work Network. And so really the vision for Faith at Work Network started out with a vision that I could walk with a young person down the streets of downtown Calgary and point them at each office tower and say, there's a person in that office who is a Christian who would be willing to take you under their wings and mentor you so that, I'll use Carrie Lynn's words, so that you can learn to live courageously as a Christian in that workplace. There's a faith community where you can gather with other Christians and be encouraged to live out your faith in the workplace as a young person, as a young man, as a young woman, as you're starting out your career. That still remains the vision. And what's interesting when I think about vision, we as Christians can sort of fall in three camps. We can fall in the camp of, well, the world has a way of doing vision, and you write your vision statement and you follow all of that, and you rely on your own strength and you rely on your own insights, and you read the best management and leadership books, and then you finally find a vision statement that somebody else is using, you copy it and you modify it to look for where you want to go in your business. The other approach we can take as Christians is we can say, well, you know what? I'm just going to pray about it. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to pray and pray until God tells me what my vision is and where I should go. And then but I think there's a third way, which combines the best of both of those. Because at the end of the day, the skill and the principles that go behind writing a vision statement are skills and principles that God has created into the world. And so developing a vision, when you are doing it, so using the best principles of the world for crafting a vision, as well as relying on prayer, relying on God's wisdom. Proverbs says in Proverbs 1 and Proverbs 8 that wisdom cries out in the marketplace, at the street, at the city gates. And so God is there willing to give us His wisdom as we craft our vision, and then as we look at how we carry out that vision. And so I think the third way here is to rely on the best principles of business principles of crafting a vision, but also relying on God and combining those two. At that point, vision casting can actually become quite exciting. But life in the workplace is difficult. And why do I care about that Christians actually, particularly young people going into the workplace, can find a Christian mentor, can find somebody in the organization to encourage them? And I think it's for the same reason that God appeared to Jacob when he had left his family. He just tricked Esau out of the birthright and was heading off to Haran to find a wife. Jacob didn't know what lay ahead of him. Those of us who've been in the corporate world for more than a few years know that the corporate world and business life is not easy. Running a business is not easy. There's all kinds of things that happen that don't go according to plan. You have to work with difficult people. Pandemics happen. Things change. And God says a couple of things to Jacob. But first one he says is, people will be blessed through you and your offering. And your offspring. We, as we go about our work, are called to be a blessing to the people that we work with, called to be a blessing to our customers, called to be a blessing to our suppliers. And we need that reminder that we are called to be a blessing to them. But secondly, God says to Jacob, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go. And that promise of God's presence, I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, to me is so vital. It's so easy in the workplace, and I have to put myself in the same situation, to lose sight of the fact that God is with me. It's so easy to get caught up in things have not gone well, or I've been very successful, and to not give thanks to God. And so to be in community with other Christians, to have that mentor that pulls you back to that place and says, God is with you in the middle of this, to reorient your focus, that God is with you and will watch over you wherever you go. So that was really the focus of Faith at Work Network when we started, was how do we help and how do we create environments where young people going into the workplace can be reminded of this, and then also be equipped to share that with your coworkers. And so we formed a number, and vision never changes, and that vision hasn't changed, but how you carry out a vision changes. And so we started forming a number of workplace faith communities, and as people heard about it, other people said, I want to start a workplace faith community. And we very quickly had 15 workplace faith communities happening within the Calgary area. And then the pandemic hit. And people said, now I have to do life on Zoom. And there was something about leaving your desk, going down the elevator, taking the elevator, saying hi to your coworkers in the elevator, walking down the hallway and going to another meeting room to gather to be with other Christians, that you just don't have when your meeting shifts to an online Zoom conversation. And so for a lot of people, a lot of these groups said, you know what, I don't want to be part just of another Zoom conversation. And so we saw actually that method closing over the pandemic, except for one group that actually stayed very focused on prayer. And they met daily for prayer, and they're still meeting daily for prayer. Prayer for their coworkers, prayer for themselves, prayer for their company. And they're actually seeing some growth in that. But the exciting thing that I've seen God do as well in the last year and a half through the pandemic is that He shifted our focus at Faith at Work Network, not just only to connect directly with people locally in the community of Calgary, but how can we work with missions agency leaders, pastors, and those in the academy to equip them so that they can equip people to live out their faith. So that's a little bit about who Faith at Work Network is, and a little bit about vision from my perspective. Jim, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks for being with us. We trust you found this to be helpful. And if so, please give us a like, a follow, and a share. The Bible says in Matthew, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. If you're launching or growing a business, a ministry area, or a special project, or if you're involved in helping them as a resource or service provider, we'd love to have you participate with us. Stay informed of upcoming events and items of interest by subscribing to the Marketplace Ministries Update, sent out periodically. May God bless you as you do your best to faithfully represent Jesus Christ in the marketplaces of life.